We can move to item number 10, critical rural and urban freight corridor proposed considerations. So this will also need a roll call vote to recommend to the SMMPO for release to public comment. I believe Lisa and Jackie both want to talk about this one.
Thanks, Victoria. So just a little background. So MassDOT requested that SRPEDD and other MPOs identify critical areas for freight movement throughout the region as part of their planning efforts. We're using existing data collected as part of our freight planning and traffic counting program to inform the roadways that we have selected. MassDOT designated approximately 17.4 miles of roadway to be included as critical urban freight corridors and 7.16 miles of roadway as rural freight corridors throughout the SRPEDD region. Those red roadways were designated as urban or rural based on the existing urbanized area UZAs as designated by the US Census. So the timeline for this actually started back in August, where we were notified to start the process of determining which roadways could be considered. Um, SRPEDD staff chose roadways that met the criteria that you see here on the screen. We looked at roadways that experienced a high number of trucks, as well as connected to industrial parks and major highways, and also roadways that were near existing areas with truck travel time reliability issues. We are currently in the December to January time frame where we are bringing these proposed roadways to our NPO meeting, which will be next week, but we're bringing it to the JTPG group first for your review as well. Come January, February, we're looking to have the NPO vote on these roadways. And then in March, MassDOT will certify them and submit them to Federal Highway. And in August of 2026, pending Federal Highway approval, they will be included in MassDOT's freight plan, and these projects will be eligible for National Highway Funding Program funds. So it opens up funding opportunities. I'm going to quickly share on the screen lists that we have compiled for both the rural and the urban segments that we are proposing. And then I'm going to hand it over to Jackie because she's got a map and she's going to zoom in a little bit on those. We will distribute this out to the JTPG for further review. Like I said, we are in the process. We're looking to bring it to the MPO next week so we can get it out for public comment. And there's still plenty of opportunity for additional feedback on these roadways. So these are the rural freight corridor segments that we are proposing. Just give you a minute real quick to take a look at those. And then, as you see here, there are a lot more on the urban side. I'll give you a minute and I'll go on over to the other slide. Like I said, we'll be sharing these out and Jackie will be displaying these on the map. So I'll hand it over to you, Jackie.
Great. You see the map?
Not yet.
Not yet.
There we go.
Okay. So as Lisa said, a lot of work went into this. I want to just give a quick shout out to Sean on our staff who did the majority of this analysis, put this together. I'm going to zoom in on different parts, but I wanted to kind of show the context of the entire region so you can kind of see a little bit of why these were selected. The blue lines on the screen are the National Highway Freight Network. So that's existing freight corridors that are identified that are eligible. And then these white circles with the purple buildings in it, those are industrial parks. All the red dots are high truck volume locations. These red segments right here, and I will zoom in on them a little bit. Those are the urban freight corridors, and the green ones are the rural freight corridors. And again, that's based on urbanized area. So we're going to start up in the northwest, and I'll kind of try to quickly touch on them all. But up in this northwest corner, we have a section of Route 1 in Plainville, two sections of 140 in Mansfield and Norton. We have a small section of 152 in Attleboro. And these, again, the red are the urban. There's a small section of Bay Street in Taunton. And then also there's this section of 44 on the Rhode Island line. Moving over to Middleborough, we have some segments going into the Middleborough Rotary on 18 and 44. There's two small sections of rural freight corridor on North Main Street, which is Route 58, and Spring Street in Carver. We also have this section of rural, which is Myrick's Street in Berkeley. And then in Middleborough and Wareham and Carver, we have kind of this section over here. This is Route 28. It's mostly rural, but there's a small section of urban. Zoom in on that a little bit more. And then this is Route 58 with also a small section of urban and a small section of rural. And then again down here, like a small urban corridor, that's where 6 and 28 are combined. Then going west a little bit, there's Route 18 in New Bedford, Route 6 in Dartmouth. This small little piece over here is to access possible ferry service or needs over here. I think Central and then Ponte Delgada. Small section of Route 6 in Somerset. I think I might have said Somerset earlier, but I meant Seekonk. And then there's this little section of South Main Street in Freetown. And I'm happy to zoom in on anything, but again, this will go out to the JTPG. We're working on getting this to be a public facing map, so you'll be able to look at all these pieces yourself.
So we're happy to answer any questions, but we are asking that the JTPG take a vote to recommend to the MPO to release to public comment.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I just have this is Sean Handy from MassDOT District 5. I'm just listening in. I just had a question for Jackie. So all these segments that qualify as freight corridors, they meet the definition, they meet the criteria. This is kind of a stupid question, I think, but I'm going to ask it anyways. There's other corridors and roadways that are already identified as freight corridors all over the state in the region. Is that these are just ones that you've looked at
Yeah, these
now? Is
are
that
new
accurate?
ones.
New,
These
okay,
would
all
be
right, okay.
new ones. Yep.
I gotcha. All right, thank you.
They gave us more mileage, so we were like, let's get as much mileage in the region as we can. So
Okay, do we have any other questions or comments?